All right. Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing well. This is DFS Army's pre-lock show where we are here to answer your questions, talk through your concerns, get us right for this week 5 slate. Only 10 games on the docket, so we should have plenty of time to get to all of the questions and also talk through our game plans for the slate. Of course, I have my favorite pre-lock crew here. Tattoo, he's our single entry GOAT. Shark Labs, y'all know we go to him for all the numbers, author of Winning the $1 Million Game. And he, Burns. If you don't, you're about to find out. And then we have Razzle, Dazzle, and myself. Razzle, GPP, multiple takedowns. Were you a part of that 50K? Did you see that 50K Army winner? Was it college football or what sport was that for?
College football.
That was college football.
You help with college football, right, Raz? Or am I making that up?
Making it up.
I have I haven't yet this year. We've expanded our staff, so I don't have to overdo it. I mean, since baseball and football and college basketball, yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, it was good to see. We had, I don't know, it was like 4 of the top 6 or something in that main GPP. Yeah. So
they killed
those guys are killing it.
Yeah. So if you're not a DFS Army member, join us. Use the Domination Station, which we'll talk about on this show. You'll be in the Discord. You'll have access to all the tools. Link is in the description if you're interested in that. But let's get to today's slate. Brutus, I see you, man. Who the locks? We'll get to them. Appreciate you, man. Nathan said DS loves Fields, but he's chalk. But the DS has been right lately on what it rates as the top quarterback. Does it make sense to go all in on Fields and set the ownership cap at 100 or lower? Burns, I'm going to throw this hefty one right at you. Curious to get your thoughts on this.
Well, I think Fields is a great play today, even though he is chalk. I think he's a better play than Herbert, who's chalk as well, from that perspective. But if you don't want a lot of chalk with him and Garrett Wilson, then I would lower your ownership cap. I'm toying with this one, man. I really don't like everything that's coming out of the Domination Station at 130%, and I don't like anything that's coming out higher than that. So, but when I go down to 100, things look extremely interesting. So, I don't mind it.
Okay. Nathan also had a follow-up question that said, outside of the chalkiest quarterbacks, who do you like? And I'll throw this one to everyone just so we can kind of get a feel for how everyone's thinking about the quarterback position. Raz, where are you at right now?
I mean, unfortunately, like I'm playing the chalk quarterbacks the heaviest. But I am, we had this conversation before we started the show, like Jared Goff, humongous team total, a team that just doesn't take their foot off the gas, sub 3% right now. Like he's the guy that I'm trying to hand build my way around, plus obviously get, 8 to 12% MME wise too.
Okay. Tattoo, what about you? Who are you looking at the quarterback position outside of the chalky players?
As far as like my single entry 3 max cashy guys, besides the 3 chalky guys, I have Dak.
Okay.
He's only 6.5%. And I have a few others when I ran like 150. Mm-hmm. And somebody that I can't believe that I like, but I'm going to take a chance on exploiting their defense, but it's CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like CJ a little bit too. I think I have a similar thought process to a lot of you guys on this slate. I have like a core group of 5 players who include your Kyler Murrays, your Daniel Jones, your Justin Fields. And then I'm getting a little weird with plays like Sam Darnold, Bryce Young. Sam Darnold, I just like that game environment more than I did on Friday. Guys like Burns and other sharp guys in this space have kind of talked me onto it a little bit. And then Bryce Young is just purely a matchup play. And then kind of like you mentioned, Raz and Tattoo, I have a little bit of golf exposure. I didn't force that. I'm just letting the DS do its thing. And then CJ Stroud, I left in my player pool, and he's showing up on occasion too. So not as excited about those guys, but they're in the mix. Burns, anyone left that we haven't talked about, or anyone you really want to emphasize?
No, I think you guys hit it all. Pretty much going to be on the same guys as you guys, and that Rattler. I'm on him this week. I think he's a competent play. I'm not hugely a proponent of this offense, but I think Rattler is in play because of his price tag and his ownership, and he's in play because Olave is actually a fairly decent play, but I like Shaheed much better in that game. So if that's another one to add to the listing.
Okay, cool. And then just to kind of wrap it all up, Carlos asked, he was like, who is your cash game quarterback and running back? And then looking at single entry, low dollar quarterbacks. Tattoo, curious to kind of get your thoughts on this subject.
In my single entries, I went between Herbert, Fields, Jones, and Prescott with probably majority Fields.
Okay. What about the running back position? Any guys stand out for you there?
Oh, yeah. I like
in
it a
cash
lot.
or single entry?
Achan, Hall, Dowdle. I mean, kind of your staples in the cash. I like Jonathan Taylor, Hampton, Javonte Williams too.
Okay.
Woody Marks.
And then Chuck, I appreciate the $5 dono. He said today I'm hopping going all in on Fields more deeply than that newly divorced. All right. I'm glad I stopped reading. I'm glad I went slow on that one. Chuck, I do appreciate that, but I'm not going to comment. All right, next one. Let's see. We have Xavier who said, who is your favorite standalone receiver today? Raz, curious to know what you think about this. Who you're looking at the wideout spot.
Yes, I was hoping you were going to go to me first, just because my standalone receiver is going to be somebody that you guys are pairing, and it's JSN. I'm not using Darnold, and I kind of explained it to you guys before we started, but I get access to Darnold through JSN. Because if Darnold's going to have any type of a strong game, it's going to be because JSN goes off. So I can eliminate a quarterback in Darnold and just get it all through JSN. So he's definitely my highest standalone guy.
No, I mean, I think JSN, great call. He is seeing a lot of ownership. I don't think that makes him better or worse. So I'm with you on the JSN call. Burns, do you have a wideout you really like?
Outside of JSN, who's going to be extremely chalk today, I think you can hang your hat on that. Nico Collins may have a pop-out game today. Amon-Ra as well could have a pop-out game at the upper level salary points. So those guys are in very decent spots today. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. But don't forget about the Cincinnati side too. I mean, they could be in play here. So
okay. Anyone in particular on the Cincinnati side, or you think like Chase or Higgins?
I think it's Higgins today. I think Jamar Chase is a great play. I like the $1,900 savings off of him that I can get. And so Higgins is actually excellent against man coverage. When targeted against man coverage, his quarterback has a QBR of 121.4.
Damn.
And his target percentage is 32% versus Jamar Chase, who has an 87.5 QBR and an 18.5 target percentage. So it's, for me, if I'm building Jared Goff lineups and I'm running it back, I'm going more Higgins than Chase, but I don't mind Chase at all. So.
Okay, good. And I'm with you on the Collins play. I think Collins is someone I'm really looking at. And then Tataroa McMillan, soft Dolphins secondary right now. Tet should see all the targets in the world and more. 5,700, not too pricey. He's my flag plant there. What about you, Tattoo? What receivers or what receiver do you really like at this point?
Tet was gonna be my standalone, and I like Nico
as well.
But they're my two top ones.
All right. Good morning, guys. John Marchese, D-Man, good to see y'all. Mr. Andy said good morning. How are we feeling about Dowdle, Marks, and Demicado? Razzle, go to you first again. Are you first looking at these three running backs? And then if so, how are you feeling about them?
I mean, I'm looking at them. I think I'm going to play Marks more than the other two. I understand, Dowdle's just going to skyrocket ownership-wise and everything, but, I mean, it's an offense that isn't all that great, so, I get it, but DeMarcado, it's so tough to get there because, they're going to play three running backs, and it sounds like Carter's going to be the main every down back, which I still don't understand because DeMarcado is bigger than he is. So it's just tough to trust. I'm basically saving my DeMarcado shares for the afternoon only at this point.
No, I get that. What about you, Tattoo? Are you looking at these three at all? And then, again, anyone stand out for you more than the others?
I'm using Dowdle in some single entry and cash, just playing the ownership game and stuff like that. But out of those, my favorite ones would be Woody Marks.
Okay, I did not expect you both to be higher on Marks than Dowdle, outside of the smaller field stuff. Burns, are you gonna get us back on track here? Or are you with them?
I mean, there is so much value. I don't know if I'm going to be getting into this zone with GPPs today. Dowdle is in 7% of my lineups. If that tells you anything, and I don't have any Woody Marks, and the other guy, I don't have any DeMarcado either. So I just think it's a pretty slim build this week where you don't have to go outside of much below the 5,200 mark. So, but I'm playing a crap load of a particular running back today. So,
okay, we'll get to that soon. Can't wait to hear. But for me, I have a lot of Rico Dowdle. I do get it. The Panthers aren't moving the ball well in general right now. And so if you think that trend continues, that's a very solid reason to fade. I don't think they'll have too much trouble against the Dolphins today, but clearly I'm biased. I'm a Panthers fan, so I have blind faith in them. And I did force a little bit of exposure to Demicado, only about 1% to 2%, so nothing too wild. And then Marks, I'm a little bit over the field as well. I'm with you, Burns. I do think there's just some clear spots at the running back position that I want to be over the field on, but I'm always going to mix in some exposure to these low-owned guys when I think they're in good spots. Chuckson said, let's fucking go, guys. Can't wait to hear that one sneaky play today. We will always save those low-owned plays for the end of the show, so don't leave. We had a pretty good trend on hitting on a lot of those, especially last week. Sean said Fling was steaming Kamara hard. I guess he was a big fan of Kamara, but we haven't really talked about him too much. Let's go ahead and talk about the running back position. Thank you for that segue, Sean. Angel also said Jonathan Taylor had a good game against Denver a few weeks ago. Why not play Barkley in that same spot? Let's talk about the pricey running backs first. That 6K and above range. Burns, you're nodding your head. Who are you liking here?
This is where I'm going different. And I'm not doing anything to the domination station, guys, to get this. But Barkley's showing up in about 30% of my lineups. And I know, and I wrote in that article on Tuesday evening where I was going to try to not get him as much. But where I prefaced it is that I just let the domination station put in the amount, and I'm not going to boost him. So my preface was I'm not going to boost him. And I'm not boosting any running backs outside of one running back. And so he's in 29% of my lineup simply because of the fact that that's what the domination station is producing. And I'm not going away from it. I think Saquon could have a day today. And, just for what you prefaced there, Josiah. So I'm with it. I mean, it's fine. I'm letting it happen naturally, and I'm not going to go away from it. But what is happening is that Jonathan Taylor, who is actually not in a really good spot today from a metric standpoint, is actually showing up in about 7% of my lineups, which I'm actually really glad about, because I don't want Jonathan Taylor to bring down all my lineups. So I think this is the one-to-one pivot here almost off of Jonathan Taylor. So who's way chalk today for his matchup.
All right. The funny thing is, I started just seeing Saquon show up a little bit more for me too. And I was like, what is going on? But I wasn't mad at it. For me, he's only showing up in about 12% of my lines. So still pretty close to field weight ownership, but glad that there's a reasoning behind that increase. Raz, what about you? How are you thinking about running backs today?
I mean, it's tough to not play a lot of the chalky good running backs. I'm not the backup sliding in, but I'm torn on the Saquon thing. Like, he just doesn't look as explosive. That offense, even though they're winning, like I've seen people talk about it, they're turning into the Chiefs, where like they're just winning but not dominating, and like both wide receivers having issues. Like, I just don't know if it's a Barkley week or if it's a wide receiver week with all the narratives and the talk. So for me, like, I just think Jonathan Taylor right now has a higher ceiling based on what we've seen so far. And so that's why I'd just rather play JT. But, I'd rather play H-Hand, which is obviously the chalkiest of running backs. And then, I mean, even Genty and Scatabo. I am going to increase Derrick Henry ownership to above field weight. Okay. Just because, like, they have to rely on him, right? Like, they can't let Cooper Rush drop back 40 times because he's not going to scramble the same way Lamar could possibly, and at least it is at home. So, like, if you tell me you can get Derrick Henry 20 carries, like, then I'm going to love the upside potentially. So I'm going to go back to Henry. He's definitely failed me a bit, but I mean, $7K for what his ceiling conceivably is, week one, I would gladly take that. Yeah, I mean, it's a pure volume play. It's hard for me to get upset about it because I understand your thought process there. I don't believe I have any exposure to Henry. There's just so many good running backs. I just couldn't get there, but I understand it.
He's X'd out of my player pool.
You said you X'd him out, or? Yep.
Henry's out of my player pool.
Oh, okay. I love it. Two different perspectives here. Too often, I hate it when everyone agrees on everything because that's just so. Ugh. And I also feel like there's a higher chance it fails when there's two different thought processes on it. I'm like, all right, let's see who's gonna be right this time. Tattoo, where are you at, man?
I'm with the same thing in my single entry stuff. I'm eating the H-Hand, Taylor, Hall, Dowdle. But I have a ton of David Montgomery. I'm over on Hampton and Javonte Williams. And then, like I said, over on Woody Marks.
Nice. I'm pretty
Jonathan
much
Taylor, probably him and H-Hand top dogs.
All right, I hear you. For me, I got a lot of heat for it on tactics, saying I don't love Hampton and that I plan on fading him. That hasn't changed for me too much. I'm gonna be under the field. I didn't X him out of my player pool. I do still believe he's a little overrated right now. We'll see if I'm wrong. Y'all know I'm quick to it. I won't stay in crazy land for too long, but that ownership's a little too high for me for a rookie running back against a defense I think is a little underrated, but we'll see. All right. NHL starts Tuesday. Is that right, Tattoo? All right.
Yeah.
Y'all, when's your show going live?
Monday, 7 p.m. for season preview. Then we'll be recording on Monday afternoon, evenings, kind of a breakdown each week before the big Tuesday slates, so you can go back and watch it.
Good. Okay, I like that. Dixon, I can't read this story, but I'll get to the point of it. 2 touchdown players here, guys that we think can score 2 touchdowns in one game. I'll go to everybody on this. Tattoo, I know you're always ready for the ATD props, so I'm curious to see who you would go a little bit heavier on for potentially 2 touchdowns today.
And usually it seems like it'd be a running back would be your safest bet, but I'm actually gonna say Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren for 2 touchdowns. That's a hell of a call. What about you, Burns? Any 2 touchdown prop guys you like?
I haven't even looked at the 2 touchdown props. So you might want to go to Raz first. Give me a second.
Raz, where are you at, man?
I mean, I haven't looked at any props, but like the first 2 names that pop off my head would be David Montgomery and then Jalen Hurts. Like,
valid.
I mean, it's tough to trust like Breece Hall, but like Fields could steal half of them. So like, are they going to run for 3 touchdowns in that game? I don't know about that.
Yeah. I can't do Hall. Touchdowns are always a question mark for him. So asking for 2 feels like maybe a lot. For me, I'll go Achane. Did you land on one, Burns?
Yeah, I was thinking Montgomery to start, but I look, the lines are fine for him. And he's my guy today. He's the single guy I boosted. And I boosted him for very good reason, being that he's coming back into Cincinnati for the first time in his entire career. The narrative is not like a happy birthday bullshit narrative. It's an actual narrative that is probably going to really work in his favor. And I'm not a narrative player. I play with the numbers more than I play with bullshit narrative. So in this one, I really think he's the guy. I think he's the 2+ touchdown guy. I think he could even get 3 today. I think the yardage will be lower. He's at 5,200. His ownership is 4.15. Right now, I'm getting 30% of him. So that's how much I actually like him. I want to be significantly over the field on him because I think he can have an explosive day today. And, the narrative is just too good. When I heard the narrative earlier in the week, I was like, man, this is something that could actually pop. So, yeah.
Hey, nothing I love more than a good narrative and the numbers all talking the same language. That's a great sign. Music City Mike said, would you double stack Rattler, Burns?
Yeah, I'm stacking them up. If I play in my lineups with Rattler, I'm playing Rashid Shaheed and Olave. And then if the domination station is going to give me anything more than that, by all means, I'm going to try to run it back with Scattaboo. I'll also try to run it back with Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson as well. So I don't really mind that side of the ball either, but I'm a little less on the run backs in that game. Whereas I'm just like, I kind of just like or Spencer Rattler with just Shaheed and Olave, but Scat makes a lot of sense.
Good. And Burns, I'll go back to you on this. Are we getting too excited about Dowell?
Yeah, I think he's a fine play. I think Miami's defense is, they're okay. They're nothing great. And the way I like him is through the air more than on the ground. Carolina's 29th against pass catching running backs, and so I like him through the air more, and that's kind of why I kept him. And plus, the game line is close; it's 1.5 right now. it's a similar reasoning around Breece Hall, is that it's a 1.5 spread for me. And, Dallas is a leaking sieve against running backs this year. And so that's kind of how I'm playing it. It's the reason why I'm not on Derrick Henry, is that the metrics aren't in play for me for him. But he could pop off. I mean, Derrick Henry pops off a lot of times. But yeah, Donald, honestly, if the domination station gives me 10% of them, that's all I really want. I don't want anything more than that. I think that you get above that, you're going into no man's land, and you could have all your lineups fail because of it.
Fair. I like them. I have a lot, so we'll see how that goes. Gabriel said Carolina is trash. That's so true and so real, my friend, unfortunately. Uncle Cheese said Kyler Murray today. Raz, Murray, thoughts?
This is one I've gone back and forth on all week. Props projections looks pretty solid. So ultimately, I ended up with yes, and he's going to be one of my higher owned, but it's only based on the theory that I think that they're just going to struggle running the football with being down to their third, fourth, and fifth running backs. So like, I'm just hoping they get to move the ball through the air, and then Kyler scrambles, 7-8 times for 40 yards. And then MHJ, I don't know, feeds off of his second half last week. Definitely not the first half, but the second half performance. And, we see that kind of offense, but he's the one that I can't ever get right either.
Yeah, it's so hard to trust Murray, but we've seen this Tennessee team already give up a ton of points. So I feel slightly more comfortable with it, but you can't feel safe about it. But he's in play. He's very viable. He has upside, has plenty of weapons. It's just, will MHJ suck today going up against Snead? That's the main question mark for me. Nathan said, is anyone nervous about Taysom Hill playing today? Is anyone actually playing him? Tattoo, you get a little bit excited when you saw Hill was going to play?
I did not. I was trying to figure out how he went from no way he plays this season to playing in week 5.
The magic of Taysom.
He's been replaced. Tyler Warren's the new Taysom.
What about you, Raz? Any interest in Hill?
I mean, you have to have interest, right? Like, if Taysom Hill's playing football based on what he's capable of doing at a tight end position, it'd be a no-brainer, especially when, today's tight end position is kind of weak outside of, you get Ferguson and McBride and, Tyler Warren, who I think's a little overrated. But Taysom just makes a ton of sense. You just can't play him on FanDuel because he's not in the player pool for some reason. I did draft him as my tight end and underdog too.
Well, we have him in exclusions right now in the DS, so that might be where he's hiding in your player pool. I don't know if FanDuel.
Well, I'm talking about FanDuel itself. When I was hand building, he just wasn't in there. So unless FanDuel added him again, but I did all my hand building prior to yesterday. So, but yeah, we've seen it before, and we know Kamara's not getting goal line carries because he's not scoring touchdowns. So Taysom Hill might be the best quarterback on their roster too, and he's playing tight end.
Burns, as someone who has exposure to the Saints, is this Hill news doing anything for you, or?
Man, it's something that I just don't like. I don't like him in general, but because he always kills lineups. Mm-hmm. At least with I don't know, can you even get to him on DraftKings in the tight end spot? I mean, what is he at?
It's 3K.
3K. Oh man. Yeah, this guy.
I mean, at 3K, his ceiling is just basically twice of any other 3K tight ends, right?
It is.
You play a 3K and you just hope he catches 2 balls and a touchdown most of the time.
Right.
So
yeah, this guy, he's always been a killer because he either gets you a 25, 30 pointer or he gets you 0 or something, It's it's just what it is with him.
I've always hated him. So the answer is yes. Everyone's a little nervous about Hill playing today. For me, I'm just hoping that the Saints offense doesn't do anything, and then I'm in a good spot, but we'll see. Clay said between Dowdle, Hall, and White, who has the easiest path to bust? Raz, what are your thoughts here?
I think everybody wants to hear it's Rachaad White, but to me it's Rico Dowdle because he plays on the worst offense between those two. Hall just gets all the touches. So, like, the Jets' offense may not be that great, but, like, Carolina's offense is weak enough that, like, I don't know, he just could not show up. Like, I think Rachaad White's just going to see plenty of offensive touches in that game. So, I mean, yeah, like, everybody was thinking Tucker, and then that news came out this morning that Rachaad White is expected to see the majority of the carries of that backfield. So for me, it's Dowdle, and I don't think most people want to hear it that way.
Yeah, I think that was a good overview of it. Brandon said, who takes CD's spot? Flournoy? Tattoo, do you have a good read on that situation?
I think his name is Pickens.
Yeah, like literally Pickens is the guy who's seeing all the targets now. I don't disagree.
I mean,
Pickens
the
and,
question really should be, like, who takes Turpin's spot and, like, Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
Get some more increase and stuff. Like
I increased and I made sure I got some Tolbert in my 150.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Florida, I don't know. He's just never shown much.
Valid. Raymond, good to see you. James said, I love Browning, Chase, and Brown.
Ugh.
Burns, curious to get your thoughts on the Cincinnati situation today.
Let me see here. Brown, no. Receivers, yes. Browning, I looked at him earlier in the week, but he's just not efficient. His efficiency is really low, so I don't like that with quarterbacks. I want quarterbacks to be high efficient quarterbacks. That's why I'm on Darnold this week. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks on the entire slate through the first 4 weeks of the season. So, and that's indicative of his QBR. It's indicative of his touchdown rate and his yards per pass rate. So, yeah, we want efficient quarterbacks. I'm not getting behind the Browning thing. I mean, he could actually do really good today. So if you like him, play him. But I'm not on the Chase Brown bandwagon here. If I'd play Browning, I would actually just pair him up with Jamar Chase and Higgins and call it a day with that stack. Forget about Chase Brown. Chase Brown's there's something going on there, and it's the offensive line.
Yeah,
they can't.
O-line's so bad. Protect. He can't do anything. They can't
protect. They can't block. They can't do nothing.
Yeah.
So Chase Brown has been his elusive rating is not good. Like, it's not a good metric for him, and he's getting stuffed in the backfield all the time. So
it's ugly.
Yeah. I'll watch him blow up.
Yeah, all because we shit talked him the whole time, but I feel okay with it. Code Rez said, "Morning, gentlemen. What differences are our percent ownership caps on FanDuel versus DK, if any?" Burns, I'll go back to you here. Any major differences for you?
Well, I don't play FanDuel, but I've been toying between 100 to 130% on DraftKings. So, what I look at is how my wide receivers start to be divvied up across the percentage of ownership in each of the lineups. Because the running backs are going to be there. And if you put it at a lower amount, so 100%, you're not going to get a lot of Achane. But and then you'd probably have to put a min on him to get a lot of them. So, which is not a bad way to go about it. But the wide receivers start to get real chalky once you get the higher percentage of ownership increased. So you see a lot more of Jacoby Myers. You see a lot more of Jalen Waddle, just your chalky guys. So if you don't like that, then by all means, I would lower your percentage of ownership to get more of a interesting blend of wide receivers.
Yeah. Raz, have you played around with it at all on FanDuel?
I generally don't use one on FanDuel, but I mostly hand build over there. So like I wouldn't have an idea. But yeah, I like kind of tuned out as Burns was explaining it, but like just FanDuel do something similar to DK, run it raw, and then shave off percentages. Like, I don't know if it'd end up similar to DK. I really don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would do.
Sweet. Uncle Cheese said, getting a lot of Scatterboo from the DS. Thoughts? Tattoo, or any interest in Scatterboo for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I will say real quick, Ryan Flournoy is not a rookie. He's a second-year player who hasn't shown shit. Yeah. I may know a little bit. But, yeah, Scatterboo I like a little bit. I'm not going overboard, in single entry or anything, but I'm using them in my 150.
Nice. Right, sounds good. Nick said, scary fade for me, but I'm fading all Titans players and all Ravens players this week in cash/MME. What do you guys think? I think most people are doing that, man. I don't think that's too crazy of a fade, unless I'm missing something. Am I, Raz?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, I'm not openly trying to fade. Like, I just don't expect Titans players to show up in my builds anyways. But, like, I don't mind ending up with a little bit of Andrews or, say, Flowers, just in case. Because Cooper Rush isn't, like, some incompetent guy. Like, he's won game for the Cowboys before, relying on a number one wide receiver and or a tight end. So, like, I'm fine. Plus, obviously, I'm playing Henry. But, yeah, Titan players shouldn't scare you at all. Like, I mean, maybe at some point they wake up offensively, but I haven't heard if Spears is likely to play, but if he's back, like Pollard now doesn't have every touch out of the backfield. So, yeah. Should be a pretty easy one. I think
we're with you, Nick. We're with you. We're all on the fade trade. William said, thoughts on Chargers receivers? I think that's an interesting question because they all have the same amount of ownership, basically. All priced within like 100 of each other. Burns, I'm curious to get your thoughts here. How are you thinking about the Chargers wideouts, if at all?
I think for me, it's Quentin Johnson and then everyone else. I don't. There's some interesting dynamics going on between Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey this year, and I don't know if it's a Ladd week or not. I just think play Quentin Johnson, you'd be all right.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm like you mentioned earlier, I'm under on that entire, well, at least on the passing side of that offense. And so I have the most Quentin Johnson, but I'm probably under on most of these guys. The guy who I'm fading the most is Ladd, but they're all showing up a little bit, but I'll be under from an ownership standpoint. What are your thoughts here, Tattoo? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, it's Quentin Johnson by a mile. I did mix in some Keenan Allen double stacks with my Herbert. I figured if Herbert goes off, he hopefully can bring two along with him. And I don't have much Ladd at all.
Sounds good. Everyday Things said thoughts on Krosky Merritt or Charbonnet over the chalk cheapies. Raz, for me, Charbonnet is a hard pass. I can't do that. But do you look at Krosky Merritt or do you like Zach more than I do?
No, I can't get to timeshare running backs over chalky guys that are going to see a majority of the touches. So, like, if I'm going to fade some of the chalky guys that get more of the touches, like, I'm just going to some low to mid 5K guys that are getting overlooked because of everything. Like, I just can't really trust it. Plus, Charbonnet's matchup is terrible for running backs, right? Like, Tampa Bay's so strong against the run. Plus, like, Charbonnet would be more between the tackle style running, I would believe. And that's right into Vea in the middle. So, like, to me, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And obviously, Washington is, I don't know, three running backs could touch the football again. Plus, Daniels being a fourth, right?
Yeah, agreed. Also, Razzle, I'll go back to you here because Brandon's talking about Cooper Rush, who you've already mentioned, had 3 games last year where he could have won $1 million. Ravens are more in play than you think. Are you taking that shot at all, or?
I mean, I'm not using Cooper Rush, but like,
Okay.
I mean, like you mentioned it, he's shown competent ability as a starting quarterback in short spurts. The problem is I think the offensive line has a couple injuries, etc. So like things aren't going to be as smooth. And Cooper Rush isn't as close to like Lamar as the Ravens had previously had at the backup quarterback position from an offensive play calling standpoint. So there could be some adjustments there, and that's the one worry. Plus, I mean, the Texans defense, even though the offense is very questionable, like their defense can show up.
Sweet. Jason said it's Pittman's birthday, so he's going to get one of those Colts touchdowns. I hope so. I have way more Pittman than I'm comfortable speaking on. Sup, King? Good to see you, man. James didn't like the Justin Fields call. Dave said, can you play Gibbs and Montgomery together? Burns, curious to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you can. Gibbs can get all the passing down work, and and then Montgomery will get a lot of goal line work inside the 5, inside the 10 work. Gibbs can also score a touchdown here. So I'm not against playing both of them together.
Okay. And then Ju Chanan said, in single entry, how much chalk should you eat? Is there a rule of thumb you go by? Tattoo, what's your thought process here?
I don't know if I have a rule of thumb, but I just try to stick with. I'll maybe run the DS raw, see what it's spitting out, and then try to hand maneuver a little bit. But I stay pretty chalky, just with 2 or 3 pivots, maybe.
Nice.
But
Okay.
I mean, definitely, if they're small field, you just eat the chalk.
And then, Burns, what are your thoughts? Woody Marks or Rachaad White?
I think Rachaad White projects better in this game. I know Baltimore's defense is down. They have a lot of injuries, but it's just a projection standpoint for me. Like he just projects much better in this offense. He's been in the offense. And I just like him a little bit more from that perspective. But being around, plus he's $700 cheaper. That's a big thing as well. But Woody Marks, on him last week, he produced. And I think he's going to be a good running back for the Texans. I just think Rachaad White's in a better spot.
I get it. Eric W. said, what quarterback above 6,500 has the best chance to be in the nuts lineup? Raz?
I'm going to have to say, I mean, I'm going to include Goff in there at 6,500 on DK.
Yeah.
So Goff for me, because he's the only one that I'm playing of that group. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just choosing to fade like Hurts, and then I just don't think Daniels is 100%. So
I get it. How do y'all feel about Tua, the King Raheem? Burns, any strong opinions on Tua this week?
Looked at him on the road against Carolina. Then I saw how Carolina has actually been producing as a defensive unit against quarterbacks today or this year, and I was like, no, that's not for me. So, no, I'm not getting to Tua today.
Yeah, I had the same thought process. Secondary's really been stepping it up. The Nuts 33 said, "Who's the Raider tight end today?" I will toss this to any of you who have the answer. Brock Bowers is out. For those of you,
yeah, Brock Bowers is out. Ian Thomas.
Ian Thomas.
Yep. So it's between like
Ian Thomas and
Carter.
Albert O.
Albert
O. Yeah, Albert O is elevated as well. But yeah, so it'd be Ian Thomas, but to me, it's just don't even try to play one of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Thomas has shown some signs of life before in his past. He's shown a little bit of speed, but typically he just blocks a lot and isn't too involved when it comes to from a fantasy perspective. So hard to get overly excited about any of the tight ends there these days. John Marchese said Ferguson or Warren on FanDuel. Burns, do you have a favorite here?
Oh, man. I think, geez, I don't know what their FanDuel salaries are. If they're really close, it's almost like a coin flip between these two guys. And if the ownership on Ferguson is lower on FanDuel than Warren, I would go with Ferguson. But this is tough because these two guys are the top two tight ends on the slate.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's Ferguson. It's not even close.
Damn.
Yeah.
I like
his
Ferguson.
Volume and his touchdown equity, I think, is higher than Tyler Warren's too. So
that too. Didn't you have Warren as your 2 touchdown prop?
Yeah, I mean, I like Ferguson based on the volume, and I think he'll get a ton. But Warren has that rushing upside too down at the goal line. But I mean, I think just based on ownership, I would just go Ferguson.
Fair. Why is Baker Mayfield not getting any love?
Seattle defense?
Yeah, honestly, that's the answer. This is a low-owned Henry 3-touchdown, 200-yard game. Michael agrees with you, Raz. You have some other fans with you on that. Barkley's getting slept on. Dixon said, question, any love for my boy Eric Ayamonor? He's about to have a career day versus this card secondary. Just letting y'all know. Any strong opinions on that? Anyone like Eric?
Don't the Cardinals have a strong number one cornerback? Like, the name's slipping my mind, but plus the Cardinals defense is actually solid.
Yeah, they're above average right now. Cardinals secondary in general.
Io Manor still has Cam Ward trying to throw him the football.
Surreal.
So I can't get there. If he catches 3 for 70 and a touchdown, so be it. I feel like the value running backs are going to offset that anyways. That's the one big thing is we talk about and compare value running backs, but you got to compare them also to these value wide receivers that you're thinking about playing too. And I would just, in that instance, I'm just playing the value running backs over those cheap dart throw wide receivers, really.
Yeah, I don't disagree with what you said. Dan said Kenneth Walker's going to break a big run for a touchdown at 1% ownership. All right, I see you, Dan. Right. And then Dixon, if you end up being right about that, I will not forget. You'll get a huge shout out for that one. DJ said ETN or White in season long. Do you have a preference here, Tattoo?
ETN.
Sweet. Gordillo said full PPR, Trey Tucker or Luke McCaffrey. For me, it's Trey Tucker. Raz, which way would you go?
Trey Tucker, and it's not really close at all. McCaffrey just had to score a touchdown in each of the last 2 weeks with Mariota. Now Daniel's back. It's Trey Tucker, especially without Bowers too.
Yep. Yeah, for me, the main reason why I'm contemplating playing Herbert is just so I can have some Charger stacks that bring back Trey Tucker, and it just kind of makes sense from like a correlation perspective for me. But I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet.
Yeah, but they're not playing
Oh,
each
they're
other
not playing
today.
the
I was
Raiders?
gonna say like
Washington is
you're
playing them.
that you're stacking up that Charger Raiders game.
Let me reshape this. The thing I really like about my Daniel Jones stacks is that I have Trey Tucker as a bring back, making it more of a low owned play. There we go. I knew I liked Trey Tucker in these lineups somewhere. Xavier said, "What defenses are you guys getting to today?" Let's see. Burns, I know you always have really good recommendations on defenses. Where are you landing?
Yeah, so obviously I'm all about the favored defenses, especially the favored at home. You're going to get a lot of the New Orleans Saints because they're the lowest viable defense on the entire slate at 2,200. That is favored at home. So they're going to definitely be in your player pool, and you're going to get a lot of them. The defenses outside of them that I'd really like today is the Colts. They're in a really great spot. The Cardinals are also in a great spot. Seahawks and the Eagles, but they're all written up in my cheat sheets. So
perfect. Raz, any defenses you want to highlight?
I mean, I am sprinkling in both defenses in the Cowboys-Jets game. Like, everybody's kind of excited to play that game, but especially the Cowboys, their defense doesn't look great, but like it's still Fields and fumbles and just dumb things happen. I mean, sacks especially against a scrambling quarterback. So I am going to sprinkle those guys in at I think, their combined ownership right now is like 4%. So yeah, I'll gladly sprinkle those two in.
Perfect. Then what about you, Tattoo? Any defenses you like?
Yeah, my favorites are the Colts and Seahawks, but I think I'm going to try to get some Eagles too. Just they've been blocking so many punts and kicks, and maybe I'll just take a chance that they can, score a touchdown.
Sweet. And then the last one I'll add in, or last two I'll add here, are the Lions and the Panthers. Panthers defense, they're either going to look god-awful and HN is tearing it up, or this is like a slow, gross game for both sides here. I do think the secondary is a little underrated. And then I really like the Lions. The Bengals might have to air it out a good bit here if the Lions can keep it going early. And for a quarterback that's not that great, that can definitely lead to a lot of mistakes. So,
yeah, take Browning to throw for one touchdown and throw for one interception.
Yeah, yeah, that would not shock me. Immortal said, "Is Justin Fields and Breece Hall together okay?" Burns, curious to get your thoughts on this one.
yeah, I'm playing them together, and I'm playing them together in high dollar entries of mine. So I'm pretty much kind of reducing my field ownership and high entries to Garrett Wilson because of the fact that I know Garrett Wilson's in that field stack is going to be so popular in those high dollar, low entrant contests. And I'm just pivoting over to Mason Taylor at tight end in that. So,
yeah, I agree. Dr. Lucky said, "Should I just stack Goff in every lineup with different variations?" Yeah, honestly, that's exactly how you build Goff lineups. I was having trouble with the DS because I was getting a lot of Laporta in my Goff lineups, which I don't hate, but he was showing up in 100% of like 20 to 30 Goff lineups I had. And so I ended up just lowering my exposure to Goff so I didn't have to fight with it as much. But realistically, you want to make sure you have your Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, and Laporta all showing up in those lineups. But not all in the same lineup. You get what I mean. What favorite sub 5K receiver today? Who is your favorite 5K or less receiver on the slate? We'll do this, then we'll talk about your favorite sneaky plays at every position. Starting off with Raz. Who do you like below 5K?
I don't really like a lot, so this is rough. I mean, Trey Tucker or Jameson Williams, just below 5K. Trey Tucker because of the potential increased volume, and Jameson Williams because everybody wants to jam Gibbs and Amon-Ra in. So anytime that he's kind of forgotten about, I think that's when Jameson Williams kind of pops.
Real. Agreed. What about you, Tattoo?
Darius Slayton.
Way to steal Burns' guy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take him back.
He's
and
fine.
I'll say I will
He's all
go
good.
back
He's all good.
to Adonai Mitchell to make up for last week.
Fair. All right. Burns.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple there that I've talked about this week. I like that I like Shaheed, and I'm on Slayton, so I like them both. I also like Wan'Dale Robinson, who's slightly over the 5K mark, but I like him as well. So those are guys that I'm interested in addition to Trey Tucker and who else was it? Jameson Williams, which I like a lot with Goff today as the field stretcher. So
Yeah, I'm with all of y'all on that. Right above that 5K range, I do really like Michael Pittman Jr. Can't say that enough. And Malik Washington's the one other guy we didn't talk about. Kevin Geek, he got me on this a little bit, but with Waddle being really chalky, Malik Washington playing more of that slot role, should be taking more of those middle routes. I do think he could be pretty sneaky at 3,900. Not going crazy with it, but it makes sense. So I'm willing to take that shot. All right, y'all. Favorite sneaky low-owned plays going by position. Tattoo, I'll start with you. Who are you liking?
Jared Goff.
Boom.
As quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Let me sort by ownership here. What's the threshold here? I mean, I like Woody Marks and David Montgomery. They're both under 5%.
Sweet.
Wide receivers. Chris Godwin, surprising. I like Cortland Sutton, Malik Washington, and tight end. Yeah. Shit. Does Mason Taylor count?
Yeah, for sure. Only 4% owned. And then is there a defense, or I know ownership's a little bit flatter there?
I mean, like I said, I really like the Colts, but they're 5%. Eagles, 2%.
Mm-hmm. All right, Burns. What about you?
At the quarterback position, I'll stick with Darnold here. The running back position, I'm on Montgomery all day. There are some really good spots though. Cam Scatterbo, so Tattoo took Montgomery, so I'll just Scatterbo is in a good spot here at 8.9% ownership. A guy that's just, I don't know what it is, but when I updated my domination station runs, he's starting to pop in runs, and he's popping at significant ownership, is Marvin Harrison Jr. at 5.5% ownership. And so he's just naturally coming in at a higher percentage of ownership due to the recent update on the domination station. At the tight end spot, I think a guy that's going overlooked this week is Zach Ertz with Jaden Daniels back. And I think it's when Zach Ertz goes, he's with Jaden Daniels. So he has him back. Jaden Daniels, as we said, was gimpy. So he may have to be looking at short passing situations in this game. But also I like Laporta as well. He's in a great spot. And then from a defensive perspective, there's a lot of great spots, but I'm on all the favorites, and they're all under 10% ownership. So except for the Texans and the Cardinals and the Saints, but two that are low owned are the Colts and the Eagles that are really good defenses, just naturally great defenses. So
perfect. Raz, last but not least.
Is there really anybody left? Quarterback, like I'll sprinkle in and say Jackson Dart. I get especially because the Saints defense apparently is chalk. He's not. It is his first road start. Comes from the SEC, played in Louisiana before. There's things that just it doesn't scream to me that we need to avoid him. So Dart at, I don't know, what is it, 2%?
Yeah,
sounds pretty good because of the rushing upside plus the Saints play faster. A lot more plays offensively potentially for the Giants. If my DS would hurry up, but running back, we'll just go back to Derrick Henry again. 7% roughly, I think, the last time I looked. I'm big on Montgomery as well, but wide receiver, just go to Trey Tucker and Jamison Williams, who we mentioned. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. by Burns is a pretty smart call, and Godwin by Tattoo. Godwin was my favorite, all that missed time, and he steps into 10 targets, and he played 96% of the snaps or something. So, just business as usual with Godwin. So I love it. Tight end, it might as well be Taysom Hill then, since I don't really know who else to pick down there at this point. Maybe Darren Waller, and it feels so gross, but
yeah.
There are two things working in his direction. You should expect an increase in snap share from last week, and the fact that Tyreek Hill's obviously gone. So target share should, in theory, increase as well. So it sucks. It looks like it's chasing a 2-touchdown fluke game, but everything else says he should be there for more targets. Maybe not, end zone targets, but just more targets in general.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
I would hate it more if he was chalky, but he's not.
Right.
All right. Well, I appreciate everyone for sticking it out with us today. It's been a good pre-lock show. If y'all have any more questions, we will all be available in the Discord. Don't forget to like this stream if you haven't already, and then hit us up in the Discord. Join DFS Army. Join the website where you have access to this awesome tool that has helped us all take down a lot of tournaments. But good luck today, y'all, and we look forward to celebrating with y'all in the Discord. Peace out.